My warmest hello to all of you who are watching this. My name is Aileene Cropp and I'm the director and founder of Agape People Coaching for Top Achievers. Today I want to share with you the 12 steps to top achiever time management. A question for you first of all is, how many of you have procrastinated on something that you know you should have spent your time on this week? Second question for you, how many of you then have procrastinated on something that you know you should have spent your time on today? My last question for you, how many of you are procrastinating even right now with admitting that you have been procrastinating? Well, I want to share with you some of the reasons why we procrastinate. Research has been done that there are about 15 common reasons that people always use that seem to cause them to procrastinate. And I'm going to share with you a couple of things, my own thoughts and my own research, my own study into this area, why we get into that. Now, I want to share with you my own journey into time management and procrastination first of all. So many years ago, I graduated from one of the top 3 law schools in the UK, and then I came over to New Zealand and I started working long hours in the legal industry. I was extremely stressed. I was working hard. I didn't have time for myself. I was 10 more kilograms overweight than I am today. I was single, although I desperately wanted to be in a relationship. People thought I was earning a lot of money, but in fact, I was mismanaging my finances really badly. And I procrastinated, continuing to keep busy doing things and working hard and not doing anything about it. But the turning point came for me when one of my best friends got engaged in the UK and she invited me to fly back to the UK to be her bridesmaid. But because of where I was, financially and emotionally and physically at that time, I turned her down. And that was one of the saddest days of my life when I realized that despite all those years of working hard and of just continuing to do, continuing to live my day, I felt like I had nothing to show for it. And, that was the breaking point for me. That's when I realized that I couldn't continue to procrastinate on my own life. I can't continue to mismanage my time. And if I really want to be the kind of person that I would be proud of to be, if I really wanted to have the life of my own choosing, then I had to make changes in my life. And so that's what I did. And so I started to go to personal development seminars and workshops. I invested in my own mindset and my emotions. I sought help from people I never sought help from before. I got coaching. I did things that was out of my comfort zone. I basically just started to break through my limitations and really, really look for solutions and strategies to improve my own time management and my life. And you know what? Within 2 years, not only did I manage to find a job that paid me more than I'd ever earned before and was a lot less stressful, not only did I also manage to lose the 10 kilograms, which was fantastic because I've been struggling it for years and years. Not only did I also manage to get into property investment, something that I'd always thought about and just never did it, And so I got into property investment. I invested in 3 properties, which has since done very well for me. I also built up my financial stability even better by starting to invest in shares, and they have done really well for me as well. And last but not least, I managed to find time to work on my own relationships. And, I found the man of my dreams. We got engaged and we were married within a year. So the reason why I want to share this talk with you today is because of what I've been through. That I realized it's so easy to just ignore things and just continue working hard, living life, doing your thing, and then realizing that you actually were doing something that you don't really, that isn't really what you want. It's so easy to procrastinate on our own lives, to be doing things for other people, but forgetting that it's got to be in combination, aligned. And one of the saddest things for me is to see people who live with regret, who say that I wish I had more time for my family, or I wish I had more time to travel, or I wish that I had time or found a way to build up my finances. That is one of the saddest things to me, and my personal mission is to help the people that I come across, such as yourself, to help you become your best self, the best you ever, to help you live your best life of your own choosing, and to live with no regrets. None of us are perfect, but if we're happy with that, if we're happy that we are truly our best selves, we know that we've given it all we've got, and it's been our choosing, it's different. You start to feel like your life is your own. So let's get started into how we're going to do this. So the first thing I want you to do is to think about a goal that you've set for yourself this year. All right, you may not have thought really about goals, but just think about it right now. If you could really achieve something for yourself or for your business or for your family, a goal that's really dear to your heart, that you really want to achieve, that would really make the difference for you this year, what would it be? Go ahead, if you want, write it down right now. What would your goal be? Now let's just take an example of a goal that you've set for yourself this year. Maybe you've set for yourself that you want to double your income this year. So let's just say your goal is to double your income this year. Now, I want you to think about one action that you would need to take so that you can double your income this year. Say, for example, it could be that you would need to reach out to more people, sell to more people. So my question for you then is, what time, or have you spent any time at all today on selling to more people, or working on it at least? Did you spend any time, any part of your day at all today on actually working on that, actually selling to people? You see, when I normally ask that question to people, they normally say no. And why is this? It's because we're again procrastinating. So let me show you how the procrastination cycle works. Right, so when you set for yourself your goal for this year, and you say that you want to double your income, how do you feel? Normally, when you start setting your goals, you feel really excited and you feel enthusiastic, and you think about all the fantastic differences it would make into your life when you set that goal. I call this the we stage. Say it with me if you want to, in the privacy of your room. We! Because it's exactly how you feel like. You feel excited, you're high, you're enthusiastic, and you talk a lot about it. You're full of words. You feel really high. And I mean the legal highs, by the way. You feel excited, and you're full of enthusiasm. So in this part of the stage, normally, this is what it looks like in your life. Your feelings, your actions, your progress, it goes up. That's the we part of the stage, okay? So that's the first part of the stage in the procrastination cycle. Now let's just say we give it, 3 months down the line, and you have you've tried selling, and it doesn't seem, things haven't gone as well as you hoped it would be, and you've maybe experienced even more painful rejections, or you found that it's actually a lot more work than you thought it would be. The second part of the stage is what I call the poof stage. And that is when all that excitement, enthusiasm, and all those good intentions and thoughts you had about your goal just suddenly disappear into thin air. Poof. The second part of the stage, in the poof stage, what you start to experience is some pain. And this pain could come in many various ways. It could come out of the fact that you are receiving a lot more, you're feeling out of your comfort zone. You're meeting a lot more with obstacles. And last but not least, you start to experience some fear and doubt. You start wondering whether that was really the right goal for you to set. You start wondering if you will be able to achieve it. We call this the poof stage, when all the initial energy and excitement and enthusiasm starts to disappear and evaporate. And in this part of the stage, you'll notice that if you don't do anything about it, your results start going back down. you start making less and less progress. Now let's just say we give it about another 6 months down the line, and by that stage, I call it the bed stage. It's as if you're hiding in bed and you're not doing very much. Because in this part of the stage, what you're actually doing is you're probably keeping busy with other things. You're very busy, but not busy on working on your goal, on your original goal. You're busy with other things. You start making excuses. You start making excuses for why you're not able to work on your goal. You say that, oh, my health hasn't been that great. I haven't found enough time. My other commitments have been taking me away from things. My family have needed me more. I've just been feeling not so great. It's just not been the right time. Just making tons of excuses for why you're not taking action and you're not working on your goal anymore, okay? And of course, we all know this. We start getting distracted. Now, distractions come in many forms. And of course, the most common ones that we know for our day-to-day, online surfing, where you're doing research, and also, of course, Facebook, social media, going on YouTube. Those are the external kinds of distractions, but distractions can also be internal distractions, where your mind is just not focused on your original goal. So I call this the bed stage, where you're pretty much hiding in bed and you're not doing very much in terms of your goal. And because of that, your progress continues to drop. Now, in the fourth part of the stage, if you don't do anything about it, you go into the final part of the stage, which is the BS stage. Now, what do you think BS stands for? Well, for me, B is for blame, where you start to blame others, the economy, everyone else, and you start blaming for the reason why you haven't achieved your goal. And S is for self-punishment. That's where you start to self-punish yourself for why you haven't achieved your goal. You may say that you're a failure. You may say that you didn't have what it took to achieve the goal. You may say that, you're just not created to be good in money. You start to self-punish. And this brings you back almost as if to square one. Right to where you started again. And that is a procrastination cycle. So imagine if you do this once on your goal, do you think you might do it again the next time you set a goal? Very likely. And do you think that if you set a new goal for yourself that was completely unrelated, let's just say you were trying to lose weight or you were trying to get more exercise done, how likely do you think it would be that you would procrastinate again? Very likely. And in fact, today, we actually know that there are a group of people who are chronic procrastinators. And that means they procrastinate in almost every single thing in their life. So they're constantly late. They constantly wait till the very last minute to get stuff done. They're always rushing and stressed. So they're constantly procrastinating. And that's not a good place to be, because you feel very out of control in your life as well as extremely stressed. So one of the main things about a cycle, whether it's the property cycle, the procrastination cycle, or whatever types of cycle, is that that just as they go up, they'll also come down. And so it's like a trap. You stay in the same thing over and over again. And some procrastination cycles are bigger than others. So you may take a long time before you get back to square one and find out that you didn't really make too much progress. Or it could be a smaller cycle where you actually return back to the unfinished task a lot quicker. So question for you is, how easy do you think it would be for you to get out of this cycle? If you've been in this cycle for a long time, how easy do you think it would be for you to get out of the cycle? Probably pretty difficult. Why? Because we have formed habitual ways of thinking, feeling, and acting that keep us in the cycle. So if you think back to your days when you were at school, do you remember when your teacher gave you your assignments to do and say you had a week to do it, but you waited till the very last day to start working on it? Do you remember when you were perhaps in college or in university and you had all those exams to study for? And when did you actually start studying for it? Like the night before, the week before, even though you knew when you started your course that you were going to have an exam. So that's already the procrastination cycle. So many of us have been doing this for many years. And if we're not aware of this, we continue to live our lives stuck in it in different versions, whether in bigger cycles or in smaller cycles. So the question for you is, how do we get out of it? So one of the things I want you to know is, where do you think the problem first starts in the cycle? Is it in the first stage, the wee stage, the poof stage, the hide in bed stage, or the BS stage? See, the problem really starts in the second part of the cycle. This is here. This part, that's when the problem starts. Why is that? Because if you continued to be in the wee stage, what will happen is your progress will continue to increase. If you didn't get into the second part, if you managed to get yourself to stay out of the second part of the cycle, your progress will continue to arch up. But because you entered into the second part of the stage where you start to deal with obstacles, and you fell out of your comfort zone, you started to feel pain, then you started to move into the second stage of the procrastination cycle. So I hope that this has been helpful for you, and thank you so much for spending your time with me. And remember this, that my greatest hope for you is for you to have and spend time on things that are truly important to you so that you can be your best self, that you can live your absolute best life, and that you will live with no regret.